NAD is a naturally occurring molecule that we all naturally make. Over time, however, the amount that each person makes diminishes, which is crucially important because we recycle much of what we already have. It can be made from scratch, but it's a little difficult. It is a molecule that is considered to be a cofactor between, or enabling between 300 and 600 chemical reactions to occur in your body. So if you're not making enough of it, obviously it's going to have a wider effect on your body's function and how it performs properly. So the examples I can give you when you have low NAD levels stem mainly from its top three purposes. So one of the chief reasons we have NAD is to correct DNA damage. The second one is to ensure the production of ATP at a cellular level. As you might know, the ATP is an energy molecule that the cells need to use to function properly. When they don't have enough of ATP, out of necessity, cellular functions start to deteriorate. We call that aging. And eventually the cell, starved of energy, will eventually die. The third major function of NAD is in the field of mitochondrial, not necessarily function, but also it upregulates the production and creation of mitochondria that the cell will then use to create energy within itself. So let's talk about the various ways of introducing NAD into your body. Broadly, there's three categories. One is oral precursors. Many of you might have heard of NR, NMN. They all have chemical names. They're proper and they're very long. I wouldn't expect you to remember them. The next way of introducing NAD into your body is injecting the molecule directly into your body, either as a subcutaneous injection, very similar to insulin or medically related weight loss formulations. The third way is a direct administration of NAD into your bloodstream. What's critical to understand about NAD broadly is it has been an extraordinarily difficult molecule to study. The ability to measure NAD levels means that you have to actually place a probe of some kind into different compartments within a cell and measure the NAD levels at that point. For example, NAD is a different level within the nucleus where your genetic material is maintained versus in the cytoplasm where all the cell's housekeeping functions occur. It also varies based on the time of day, it varies on your age, and it varies on the cell type. What we do know of the three mechanisms of introduction of NAD into your body, the one that has been studied most reliably to increase the blood level of NAD has been through the vein. I have some studies performed on taking the oral precursors, but what that has failed to demonstrate in a reproducible manner is whether or not the blood levels rose, but more critically, whether or not the cellular levels have risen. The studies that have been done have some stigma attached to them because they tend to be performed by the companies that are marketing or producing or both the products. As far as the subcutaneous introduction of NAD into your body, that has been poorly studied, if at all. So anybody who's injecting themselves, usually in an abdominal injection, it can be painful and we're really not sure what it's doing. So that's broadly the three mechanisms of introduction, but the one that has the most data behind it is the intravenous form. So let me tell you about who might benefit from NAD injections. As I mentioned earlier, as we get older, we make less of it. So certainly anybody over 40, the older you get, that demand increases because NAD is preferentially shunted toward DNA repair. And the ratio is roughly 300 molecules to 1. So if you're operating from a deficit and it's being shunted toward DNA repair, there's relatively little left for ATP production, much less increasing the number of mitochondria in the cells. It's been estimated that we're down about 3 grams of NAD by the time we hit about 55. There is certainly room to augment the NAD in anybody, particularly 40 and above, but I would suspect that there's going to be some deficits even into patients in their 30s. If you're interested in IV NAD, I'd encourage you to visit our website, lvlongevitylab.com, schedule an appointment, and come on in and we'll explain what might be important to you and how we can help you out. Looking forward to seeing you soon.